Welcome to Family Gamer TV. Now, you'll know if you track the channel that the families we work with use technology for all sorts of things, whether that is handheld portable gaming devices, whether that is things like an iPad for use with homework and browsing online. But a question we often get asked is, how do you do that safely? How do you keep your online gaming, online interactions safe in the home, and particularly when there are kids involved? Now, interestingly, there's some research in from Norton, the online security company, that have been looking at how families deal with online interactions and how parents feel about their kids when they're online. So it says that 1 in 4 parents have had a child or know someone with a child whose actions have compromised their online security, and also children are perceived as less likely to be victims of online crime than the older generation, 32% versus 41%. And I think most interestingly, 89% of parents are worried about their child's online safety. Now, we've got Tony Neate, Chief Executive Officer from Get Safe Online, to give us some top tips. So Tony, what's most important when you're online in the home?
Well, there's 2 specific things that I always talk about, and that's, first of all, safeguarding yourself, but also safeguarding your devices. So putting security software on all our devices. That's from desktops, laptops, tablets, down to mobile phones. And then moving on to safeguarding ourselves, it's being aware of what the scams are that are out there. And that's very important. But the 2 most important things that I talk about is passwords. So making sure you have adequate password protection, that you use more than 1 password. And what I always tell people is that we haven't got 1 key. For everything that we do in our life, we can't afford to have 1 password.
That's great, but what about this Norton research that says 89% of parents are particularly worried about children online? What advice would you have for them?
I think it's one of those things, and I've got 3 children, and when I brought them up, I was very careful about where they went, if they went to a park, if they went to a friend's. But then that's what I knew I had to do, because my parents did it with me. I think parents are now very overawed with the internet, and they're scared of it in a way, and they're scared of technology, and they think their children know more about the technology than they do. And that might be true in a lot of cases, but of course the parents know more about risk and threat. So it's about working with your children. It's about sitting down with them and talking about the different securities.
How about this stat that 1 in 4 people know a child whose actions online have compromised their security? Is that a realistic concern?
It's not a surprising stat, though it is concerning, because children like to adventure. They like to examine, to go into realms that they haven't been before, and they're willing to take certain risks. And we've got to educate them that it's not always good to do that. So it is about talking to them. It's about getting software on your machines, and a number of the security companies do software that will look at what your children are doing. And I'm not talking about monitoring them, because I'm saying if you're putting anything on your machine that is going to look at what they're doing, let them know what you're doing and prevent them from being at risk.
And how about playing games? Is that a safer activity online, or do we still need to take care there as well?
The 2 things that are very important for me are the PEGI ratings, which gives an age for people to know what games they're buying. Certainly when it's over 12, then there's legally enforceable. So people are not allowed to buy those programs. And a lot of children and even the parents don't know about these PEGI ratings, and they really are very, very useful. The other one is parental control. Again, make sure your children know that you're putting parental control on and what they are, but that's very important as well, because we all know that children will spend hours and going into all sorts of areas. So we have to monitor them, and parental control goes a long way to help us in that.
So there you go, some interesting points raised by Tony about how to stay safe online. And I think the thread running through all that, which is most pertinent, is have a conversation. Sit down with your kids with parents, and discuss what is appropriate and what's inappropriate. What measures are you going to put in place to make sure you're safe online, to protect your information, and also to make sure you don't stray into parts of the internet that maybe you don't want them to go into. But we'd like to hear from you. Let us know what you think about these issues, which ones most strike a chord for you and your family, and what do you do about it? We'll be in the comments just as soon as this video goes live.